Okay, welcome back to the Kaiser Report. We're here today at Southeastern Properties to talk to a premier realtor in the area for
Southeastern Properties.
Southeastern Properties, and we'll cover a lot about what's going on in Southwest Virginia and Tennessee. So let me present to you Elizabeth Foran, the owner here, and we'll get her views on what the real estate market looks like here
in East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. So thank you, John, for having me on today on the Kaiser Report.
Thank you for being here.
And I appreciate you allowing me to bring this to the market. I've been a realtor for almost 40 years, and I've seen a lot of changes in this market. I've been in this market the entire time. So here's what we have. I went back 10 years to 2014 to 2024. And of course, we've gone up in square footage, but the one thing I couldn't believe is the growth we're having in each city with the real estate market. They're all growing, all the markets are growing. They are coming down. It looks like there's some movement downward. I've got all the statistics. Let me go over some of them. May I, John?
Yes, please.
Okay. So as I looked at things, it brought back a lot of old numbers that I couldn't believe. We'll just start with our city that we're in right now, Bristol City. We'll start with this one. Okay. And the volume in 2014, the most that property sold was $1 million in all the volume in Bristol, Tennessee. And it went all the way up to over 5 million in 21. And at 2024, it's 2 million in dollar sales of closed sales. They're 20 million.
What do you attribute that spike to?
I think it has a lot to do with the popularity of East Tennessee. The median sales price has come up from 2014. It used to be the median sales price the median per square foot was $60. Mm-hmm. And now it's all the way up to $240 almost. Can you believe that?
That's unbelievable.
$60 to $240 a foot. And then there's no inventory on the market. The median market days are down to hardly nothing, under 30 days, to where the median market days in 2014 was over a year.
So are you saying there's a shortage in the market right now?
Right now there's a shortage in the market.
Now they are saying that, especially on the West Coast, that the realtors are talking about a shortage in the market, and that's why home sales are down. But when you listen to Dan at iAllegedly, he'll tell you that the foreclosures that are happening are not being reported in the houses for sale. And it appears to be why there's a shortage. Do you agree with that?
I would agree with that, and I think that a lot of, I do believe that the interest rates, that's going to be a challenge for any home buyer coming into the market, where it increases it quite a bit from what we were used to, 7% to 3%.
That's also hurting the automobile business too. It's they're crying about higher interest rates preventing people from getting the car of their choice.
That's correct. It brings down the buying power. But our Tri-Cities is really growing. I mean, even all the little cities that support some of the bigger cities, Johnson City, Kingsport, Elizabethton, and Bristol, all these smaller cities, Mountain City, Churchill, they're booming. Greenville's booming. They're just booming.
Yes.
People are coming to East Tennessee from everywhere.
Yes.
And Southwest Virginia.
Do you attribute that migration due to the income tax, that we don't have a state income tax?
And I think you get a quality of life here for
more house for your money.
Yes. You get to live a lot larger here for nothing that you could do. I know.
Don't tell too many.
We don't want anybody. We're inundated to all the people coming, but we love you, and I think that they're saying that everybody is from the mid-United States moving east.
Do you find a lot of Californians and Nevadans coming this way?
Yes, and Oregon.
Oregon as well.
They're coming out. Yeah, a lot of them in Johnson City and Greenville. There was a farm that sold. Actually, Ron Ramsey said that a lot of his auctions, there's a lot of people, California, Oregon, Washington, buying our farms. Oh my God, that's not going to go well, I bet.
No, that's not going to go well.
That's not going to go well. We like our homegrown people, but you know.
Considering the fact that the Chinese are buying up all the western farmland.
Yeah,
so.
they're running here, I guess.
Yeah.
But we're still Appalachian. We still have these wonderful people here.
Where do you think the real estate market in this area is going to go to in the next, let's say, 6 months? Or let's go to the election that's going to happen in 7 months.
Well, I think there's going to be some pause of the excitement of real estate with the interest rates, and I think it's still going to have a good market, but I don't think it's going to, break any records. I don't.
Right.
I think we're just going to sustain ourselves.
Right.
It's a good question. I do. I think that a lot of people ask me about the interest rates, and that they want to refinance or something, and I say, wait till next year. Maybe we'll have Trumponomics in there.
Possibly. What do you think about Rocket Mortgage announcing today that they're going to lay off 3,400 people?
I think that's an indication that our market is slowing down. That the interest rates are doing what they wanted it to do, was to temper the inflation. Mm-hmm. And so now everybody's, they're sitting on the sidelines.
Huh. Well, I see a lot of different license plates in our area, and I know some of that is due to the fact that we now have a casino here, and there are people that are coming in. When Hard Rock opens the hotel here, we're going to have an influx of tourism, and people that have to work in that casino, and these people are going to need housing. Affordable housing is not plentiful in the Tri-City area that I know of, unless you know of.
Well, the median price range is between, the hottest market is between $150 and $250. It's every city. It's $150, $250. That's a hot market. And over $350 is a slower market.
But there's not a lot.
There's not any inventory. And what's happening is the interest rates. They say the baby boomers won't give up their houses. They're staying in them, and so that's inventory that's not coming to market.
Right.
So I think that until new construction takes some of the pressure off, I don't think the prices are going to see any real downturn.
And new construction has slowed down because of the price of goods, such as lumber and.
Well, it's $200 to $300 a square foot.
Yes, where it used to be much less than that.
It used to, 10 years ago, it was 40 to 50 to 60 square.
60,
I mean, it was a great recession,
right.
But that's a huge.
Well, I think that we've been through this in 2008 and beyond, and then it bounced back, evidenced in your spikes here. And then fell off again during COVID, and that caused us a lot of
and they're
disruption.
Saying that, yes, and the housing, I've heard that, a lot of it has to do with millions of people needing more housing that's coming into the United States, and our housing is already not plentiful. So we have some adjustment to do there.
And what's your thoughts on the fact that people in these $1.5 million to $14 million homes in California that have not paid since COVID, that are being foreclosed on, what's going to happen to that market from a real estate point of view? I mean,
well, when people think of those
the bank's
homes,
going to take that back?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of upkeep on those square footage, 10,000 square feet in those homes. So if they're being foreclosed on, I mean, unless there's a market for it, they'll just come down in price, and they'll pull everybody's pricing down.
Right.
Like it did in the Great Recession.
And the announcement today that Dan and I allegedly mentioned was that there was a white paper that came out about the end of real estate agents as we know them, and it was over this debacle
Supreme Court?
over the Supreme Court decisions on
The buyer
on
agency?
commission and
Yes,
buyer
that's correct.
commissions.
Well, that was a very good point because the seller's point is I'm giving it's a fine line, but it's come to the Supreme Court for that decision. The seller says I have to give this buyer $12,000 to pay his real estate agent, someone I've never met.
Right.
And so that was the problem.
That's
where the
talking
suit
about
came
this
from.
morning, and-
Was a guy in Texas said, "Well, who am I giving all this money to?"
Right.
So we will see a change in our industry, like every industry sees. When you evolve, we're going to have to evolve from this, and I don't know how it's going to evolve.
Well, I figured if anyone would know, it'd be you.
Oh, thank you, John. You're wonderful to be here, and I appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much for your time and explaining some of this, because I know that our viewers, as well as other people's viewers, are interested in this particular problem that we have with real estate right now, which is a shortage in inventory. As you said, it's happening here as well. So I guess until inventory frees up or new homes start being built, we're going to be facing this at
That's
least
correct.
until the election.
Unless we get people who don't want to come here anymore.
Exactly.
And they will leave the houses, but that doesn't look like we have a lot to offer.
Right.
And until new construction is put in the inventory cycle, then we will not have this problem fixed. You're correct.
Now, my last question for you is, did you watch the State of the Union address?
Well, yes, I did.
Yeah.
But
what
no.
was your opinion?
My opinion is that we have high interest rates, we have high grocery costs, we have high gas costs. And until my pocketbook sees a difference, my opinion is we need change.
Well, maybe we should take that $61 billion going to Mr. Zelensky and put that into real estate.
Yes, and what about the port we're going to be building in Gaza?
Don't even ask me.
I mean, we are in a world where we're
it's
trillions.
ridiculous. I mean, you know, humanitarian aid is fine, and we've done that throughout the world for as long as I've been alive. And through wars and after wars, we've rebuilt cities and places for people. But humanitarian aid that's going in there right now is being not given to the people who need it. It's being given
to the
Hamas and their armies to fund that.
To
and
keep them
feed
fed.
Yes.
To fight.
So that was a major mistake for him to come out and say that, in my estimation, anyway. And I found it, I think that we all need to be a little worried after watching the State of the Union
I do too.
last night.
Well, I think a lot of people are worried about his, abilities to lead us.
Well,
And then
small business is being attacked. The middle class America is being attacked.
it's about to go away.
You know, they have a club, and we're not members of that club. You and I are not members. So,
But we have to pay the tickets.
We have to pay for
We
the
have to
price
pay
of
the
admission.
pipers, yeah.
Yes, but enough said on that. But I just want to get your
Thank you so
opinion.
much for coming by Friday.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be back to you tomorrow with another Kaiser Report.
Oh, it's wonderful.